Good evening. Hope everyone had a good week. Happy Friday.
No.
Man. Yeah, it's been a long week. And certainly nothing eventful has happened news-wise. No, nothing at all.
No. Boring week, y'all. Psych!
So, Catholic Church has officially come out in support of climate change responsibility and environmental regulations just kind of across the board, and issued the Pope, the new Pope Francis, 4 years ago, I woke up, we got a new Pope. Ta-da!
Can you still call him new after 4 years?
Well, he still got that new Pope smell. Doesn't he just look like he smells like a baby? He just kind of look like, to me, he smells like a baby. Maybe it's the bald baby hair head that he has.
Do you sense baby powder on him?
Yeah, maybe it's the Johnson and Johnsons.
Bitch, where's my baby powder?
Yeah, you gotta powder up before he bitch slaps people. Bless you, bitch. Psh, I don't know. Does he do that? I don't know if he does that.
No, dear, he doesn't.
Okay. Moving on. So 200-page document, like a book, actually, was a book, bound and everything, kind of pretty, actually. Oh, saying that climate change is a moral issue. That sounds familiar. I wonder who's been talking about that lately. Wait, it was me. Oh, fuck. Sorry. Didn't mean to toot my own horn there.
Spoiler alert.
See, there's this thing called the Bible. And in the Bible, there's this thing called good stewardship. And that involves taking care of the land that you live on. Like the earth. And, well, I don't know in what rationale you could possibly disclude pollution and just shitty, irresponsible behavior in general. But, no, that's bad. And now the Catholic Church has made it official, according to the shiny new Pope.
He's a Pepe, the Pope.
He's a Pope. He's a Pope. He's a Pope. He's a Pope. I get my feet up. the gigantic feet of science. Wait, that's just not necessary. They take up half the fucking room. I need to keep them off camera, else it might break. I don't know.
Might smack me in the face.
I've had enough jokes made about my feet. I should be able to make a few myself. Huh?
I already got attacked by Honest Paws today at work. She decided, let's play Jump on Auntie Karen, because we're all aunties at work. We have a German Shepherd at one of the offices. She's 8 months old, but she's like the size of a Great Dane. She's freaking huge. And she's still in that puppy phase, and when Aunt Karen comes, because Aunt Karen is so tall, she likes to jump and put her paws on my shoulder, and sometimes she gets excited and swats my face.
It
happened today. It kind of hurts. But she's my baby, and I love her. Sorry.
So, speaking of swats across the face, that's my segue, and I'm sticking to it. A lot of people just kind of blanketly hate the Catholic Church. I used to be one of those people. Like, seriously. The right hand for the minute.
I can't reach.
Oh, sorry. Her shoulder is out of socket. She's been talking on the phone like this, typing on a computer too much. So we're going to buy her an earpiece.
No. Bankston's going to buy me an earpiece. We ain't buying me shit.
We're going to make a lawyer buy an earpiece.
We have an office credit card for a reason. All you gotta do is add it to the board.
Yeah.
Earpiece for Karen.
Alright. So, well, the Catholic Church has actually been responsible for a lot of, civilization. See, the Catholic Church was an extension of one of the divisions of the Roman Empire. Okay? And, well, like most democratic institutions, I don't know if you're aware of this, but sometimes there's good leaders and sometimes there's bad leaders. Oh.
That sort of thing happens from time to time.
Okay, so Jon Stewart cracked a joke about Galileo. I'm like, here we go. Straw man argument alert. Okay, you see, Galileo, yes, was persecuted for heresy. All right. After a leadership change in the Catholic Church. And what's funny is this leadership change was actually brought about due to pressure from the Protestant Reformation, which are reputedly more liberal than the Catholics. But that's a whole different long story. But anyways, it's kind of ironic to me because it was the Catholic Church that paid for all this fucking research to begin with.
Things that make you go, huh?
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm not trying to defend the Catholic Church as a whole, but what I've just spent the past 2 hours discussing with my wife is that there are two Catholic churches. One is the Catholic Church that kind of absorbed the survivors of the Johannites, which were completely wiped out during the Battle of Armageddon 1,000 years ago. And the other is kind of the Republican Party of the Catholic Church. It's the Khazari or whatever the fuck Byzantine I don't want to say Orthodox. It's the KGB fucking imperialist infiltrator party that kind of made the Catholic Church fucked up to begin with. And what's the biggest mystery to me is where the fuck was Peter? Something just don't seem right about who went where when to me.
Supposedly Peter went to Rome.
Supposedly Peter went to Rome.
Paul, let's see, what did they teach us in Sunday school? Peter went to Rome. Paul went south to Egypt.
Your eyes closed like you got your hands on a crystal ball.
Peter
went to Rome.
It's a Ouija board. They're telling me.
I see in the crystal ball. Sorry.
Are you calling me a witch?
No.
I don't quack.
not right, made of wood.
I can be a frigid bitch sometimes, but no, I'm not.
She turned me into a newt.
A newt.
I got better.
There is your Monty Python for the evening. What were we saying?
I have no idea.
Me either. Oh, Peter went to Rome.
It's late, people. Oh, it's late. We're tired. It's been a long day. We did the big vacation reveal for the girls. Yeah, we're going on vacation soon, and we're not telling where.
So Peter went to Rome. I think Paul went south. If I'm not mistaken. Somebody went to Egypt. Somebody went up north to like the Baltics and whatnot. At the time, Constantinople, I suppose.
Right. Okay, wait, Constantinople. We need to find out who that was. Because
Istanbul
that, to me, when I think of where Peter went, that to me is where Peter went.
I think he did travel there. There are letters from Peter to, like, the letters. I was never familiar.
Like, that was the center of the empire at the time.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the whole idea that it was Roman.
Istanbul is Constantinople. Istanbul, Constantinople. Long time gone, Constantinople.
That's nobody's business but the Turks. Even old New York was once New Amsterdam. Why they changed it, I can't say.
People just liked it better that way.
Okay, we're done. Sorry.
We are. Sorry.
Because
you can't go back.
Sorry. Good.
I'll lick you.
Promise? Okay. Not on camera, dear. Not on camera. I don't know about the ratings for that kind of stuff. Yeah, that's my story. I'm sticking to it.
I'm not touching you. I'm not touching
I'm
you.
not touching you.
I'm not touching
I'm
you.
not touching you. I'm not touching you. I'm not. Oh, I gotta touch you.
I
Sorry.
almost picked my nose there for a second.
You can pick your friends. You can pick your nose. Don't pick your friend's nose. What?
My nose.
Okay. So.
Oh.
The point was, and we need to make a whole nother video debating what the fuck the whole real history of the Catholic and Byzantine schism really is. But the main idea is people are people, and some people are fucked up and they do fucked up things. And shutting in the institution blanketly is just nonsense. Unless that organization is an institution with an objective that, like, from its foundations, its mantra, its whole purpose for being is to infiltrate and destroy other countries. You know, like the KGB, for instance. So, despite popular fantasy, the Catholic Church has been a big contributor to many of the foundational sciences across the board. And, well, just the blanket Catholic Church, the blanket persecution of the Catholic Church is ignorant at best. It is a pseudo-intellectual atheist argument, much like the Jade Helm nuts make about the U.S. government based upon a few of its leaders. You can't say this institution that is founded on Christianity, which is a good thing, is as a whole bad because these few people did these things for this period of time. The really bad shit the Catholic Church did takes up about 2-3 centuries tops. It's still a lot, but you know, it's better than 50-50, which is it's what you get out of most government type institutions. And the fact of the matter is, wherever the truth is, the most bullshit is going to be found. Wherever the most good is, evil will follow and try to destroy it. And, you know, I'm not necessarily defending the Catholic Church, but even their secrets are kept for a reason. For one, you have the outright shame of the Johannite genocide, the big massacre of the Templars. The Templars were kind of like the Jedi. They were the watchers of the watchers. Governments and churches had their agents and employees, okay? And they were responsible for the people, all right? But who was responsible for them? Like, okay. Do you feel like internal affairs really is a powerful government agency that, like, you know, like, is there a system of checks on the system of checks and balances that we can really rely on as people?
But then he's checking those people, and then he would need people to check those people, and then people, and it's like never ending.
Oh, so you don't have any system at all?
I'm not saying you don't have any system at all, but I
seems to me like just a semantic argument.
It is, but I'm saying that argument.
The fact of the matter is, these people were chosen because they didn't need checking. They were not allowed to have selfish ambition. Most of the stories about what the Templars were, I mean, those are stories about fictional characters, okay? A Knights Hospitalier was someone who would give his life to simply save a stranger, okay? someone who was not allowed to run for political office and not allowed to own any sort of profitable property.
So you can have a farm.
Not beyond that which you need to feed your family. You couldn't have servants. You couldn't have people working for you to make gain. You could have, you could take care of people and have them help you with the land working thing, or like different arrangements like that. But that was always somebody that needed that kind of arrangement.
Kind of like an indentured servant.
Right. See, there were basically 3 sections to Rome, and all of them went to war with each other. But this section down south got the worst of it. And then once this section was finished off, a new religion was basically created just to use the survivors' next generations as a means by which to continue the destruction of the Western Empire. Okay? And it's hard to figure out how that relates to individual little tidbits of fucking history. It just really is. Moving on. Do you want to give people just like a brief description of what? Because everybody pretty much understands the Catholic Church, but well, the Johannite Church doesn't really fucking exist anymore, so there's no real point in talking about that. But what's left of the Eastern Church? My wife is from Serbia, from Yugoslavia, and she was raised in the Antiochian Orthodox Church. Usually call it just Eastern Orthodox Church, but that's not technically correct.
No, not technically. Although technically, just because I was raised in the Antiochian Church, if I stayed in Yugoslavia, I'd have been raised in the Serbian Orthodox Church.
Okay.
There is a Serbian Orthodox Church too.
Okay. So the Antiochian is like the Greek island?
No, the Antiochian is no, because there is a Greek Orthodox Church as well. The Antiochian Church is kind of like a blend of everybody. Like,
right, okay, I remember which one that is.
Yeah, like if you take a look at the way the map is, when the schism happened, it kind of got divided by lines. It was basically a line. You had east and west, and if you look at the way the east.
Start with the schism.
The schism.
Yeah. What happened? What?
In 1054, there was a council meeting of all the church leaders at the time.
1,000 years ago.
All the church leaders at the time. This is back when there was only Christianity. They were meeting, discussing, having their theological arguments, and there was essentially what became 2 factions that began arguing with each other over theological disputes, little minor things here and there, but there were
little minor things that we have on record. No telling what the real issues were.
Well, supposedly there were 3 main issues. The first one being... Give me a moment. Sorry, I'm having a major brain fart. It's been a really long week.
Alright, one of them was whether or not, was it the
bread, leavened or unleavened bread during communion.
Communion? Was it communion and Passover, or just communion?
The Eucharist.
The Eucharist. Okay. Whether or not to use a piece of actual bread or a flat piece of bread.
Yeah, essentially.
Seems really fucking important to me. And I'm sure that caused real controversy. Oh yeah, I'm sure people really gave a shit about that. I'm sure that's the real reason. I'm sure that's one of the real reasons.
Oh, okay, so another
history
reason...
is so believable.
Right.
I really respect people who bark the status quo version of it to me.
So you got the bread thing. You got Second issue was the origin of the Holy Spirit, which I don't know a whole lot about that issue, so I'm not going to go into detail on that one.
Well, at least their version of it.
All right, and then the third, and what I believe is probably the biggest issue out of the three, not that I was there or anything, but this one group of people didn't believe that one person should have complete reign over the entire religion, i.e., the Pope. So therein lies one of the differences. Each little section of the Orthodox Church has its own leader, and they meet as a council to discuss issues and resolve issues and get done whatever it is that heads of churches do. And essentially what ended up happening was the they started excommunicating each other. That's actually, yeah, it's entertaining when you think about it. They just started excommunicating each other, and eventually there were two churches. You had the East, which was the Orthodox Church, and then you had the West, which was the Catholic Church. Thus, multi-religions in Christianity was born.
But essentially, one came from a side of the Roman Empire, and the other came from another side of a Roman Empire. Like, that's what I don't get. Like, supposedly the Roman Empire just fucking magically disappeared, and this is how these splits happen. I think it's bullshit.
Well, I mean, there were political. I mean, they'll tell you
The entire debate about the Holy Spirit is bullshit to begin with.
Yeah,
and the other issues seem trivial.
Well, except the whole one leader thing. I mean, that could be. I'm not disagreeing or agreeing with it. I'm just saying that could turn into an issue if should you have somebody corruptly.
Like on the one hand, okay, first off, I don't think we know which place Peter really fucking went to and established first. Okay. 1,000 years before that. Alright. But on the other hand, you don't you don't have a system of accountability like the Catholic Church has. You have disorganized individual people. Like, it's like one pope versus many popes. They all meet together, and he has to meet with a bunch of little elected mini popes himself, the cardinals or whatever, right? So, like, the systems really just kind of seem equal, and it seems kind of pointless bickering. But one of them is actually based on what the Bible says. But that's supposedly where Peter went. I think he went to both fucking places, like you said.
Yeah, I believe he did.
But that was the Northern Kingdom, not the Southern.
Now, and you gotta remember, this is just a bunch of dudes sitting around having a big old "my dick's bigger than yours" contest here. When you get right down to it,
you know what? The other things you found after the Islamic conquests,
after the Soviet Union.
No, before the Soviet Union. But you'd found the things on the Soviet Union that just made me think of just now. After the Islamic conquests, the remaining Johannites sought refuge where? In Rome. Malta. I mean, like the Maltese Knights, and there's a few other minor sections. I have like a list of them. Guys, a big church. Yeah, those were. I think it's a secret. Those are the other Knights, but I'm pretty sure they are, or it used to be. But you can find a whole lot of different histories about little sects of Christians that had to flee Islam and wound up integrating into this weird democratic conglomeration that became the Catholic Church in Rome. And one reason why we get in an argument over I feel kind of silly arguing about the church that helped the genocide of fucking my people, but like I said, it's pointless to kind of blanketly accuse anyone except those institutions which are designed to destroy others. Well, it seems to me like the current, what would you call it, plethora, the current conglomerate of different Orthodox religions is kind of set up to weaken the strength of the whole and to allow them to be used as pawns and puppets by governments, as opposed to the Catholic Church being able to stand up and actually being a government itself. Which would, of course, make it necessary to infiltrate just like any government. But all we know is that right now, the Russian Orthodox Church leader, the mini pope of the Russian Orthodox Church, is meeting with Vladimir Putin, and so are several others. And the Ukrainian Orthodox Church, and one of the two, one's in Serbia. I couldn't remember off the top of my head which one it was. We should look that up. In Serbia, she was pissed off about it. Met with Putin.
No, Serbia and Russia have a itch.
Right, it's like sometimes they have to meet, and it's like sometimes you wonder why they're really meeting.
They have a complicated relationship. And that if you want a little bit more detail on that, go see our first video, the only video that we have posted so far.
But I don't think it was the Serbian Orthodox. I think it was the Antiochian Orthodox. You were like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
I think it's more because of its ties to the other nations where it can be found. Yeah. Like Moldova, for instance. Anyway. So, getting back to the other types of news, Bobby Jindal has announced he is running for president. That's funny as shit. The least popular governor in freaking history. Okay?
Oh, I screwed up Louisiana. Let's go see how badly I can fuck up the whole country.
Now he wants to be the most popular person in the world. Good luck with that, dude. Good luck with that.
Speaking of Jindal and his stupidity.
Thank you for calling tech support. My name is Bobby. How can I help you? What? Sorry. I'm sorry. Thank you for calling the White House. I am Bobby. How can I help you? What? No.
I threw up a little. I threw up a little when you said that. It's just a little bit in my mouth.
Like in your mouth or like in your soul? Like
a little bit of both.
When you first told me about it earlier, my soul kind of vomited into my heart. And I don't think I've ever felt that before.
So speaking of our retard of a governor, Bobby Jindal, congratulations.
Holy shit, 30 minutes we talked about the Catholics. Oh my God.
Congratulations, everybody in the United States. The Supreme Court has ruled same-sex marriage legal for everybody. However, unfortunately for us in Louisiana, Bobby Jindal has to have his 2 cents, and he wants to fight it because it infringes on religious freedom. How that's even an argument, I can't even wrap my mind around it. Like, I get a migraine trying to think about that. Because...
Yeah, you remember when we were trying to get married and there were all those gay people getting married that were in our way or something? Wait.
Yeah, like...
How does that fucking work?
They're saying it's going to affect married couples. I don't... It's going to destroy the union between... I mean, how? How? What all of a sudden, it's mandated that we all have to get divorced and marry somebody of the same sex? What the hell are you people talking about? What are you on? Like, just let people be happy. Fuck y'all.
Well, you see, I was trying to go get my marriage license the other day, and I was trying to wade through all the dildos and shit streak condoms, and it was just disgusting. Darn homosexual. Did I go too far?
No, I saw an argument.
That's how fucking ridiculous it seems.
I saw
like, what the fuck are you? What are you thinking? Like, it has nothing to do with you. There's no effect on you at all.
I saw a post on Facebook, yeah, and just keeping in this point, I saw a post on Facebook that I was very much in support of, saying, congratulations, and, we shouldn't be anything to judge, because let he who is without sin cast the first stone. We all, we all got shit in our little black book, every single one of us, all right? And, this particular person who I am very close to's father chimed in with the most outlandish comment, and unfortunately I was on a really good rant to rebuttal this, but she deleted it.
Come down from space. Spirits have you again.
Sorry. You actually like breathing on your head like you shouldn't. No.
The news is on the ceiling.
Yes.
Look at the news scope.
In blood.
We don't have a projector up there.
So anyway, so my
she was making fun of herself the other day watching one of her early videos, and the spirits have got me. The spirits have got me.
So my friend's father gets on her post and says, "Well, they can do whatever the hell they want as long as they keep that shit away from my house." Why? What is your house gonna catch the gay? Like, I mean, what?
Like how close to your house? Like 2 houses over or 3 houses over? Can they be next door in the privacy of their own home doing it, you think? I think. Jesus fucking Christ. I mean, they're not on your lawn blowing each other.
Right. They're not coming to your door naked.
You don't have 2 fat men borrowing your garden hose, spraying each other, giggling, okay? As funny of a fucking thought as that is, I'd be kind of amused if that happened here, but I'd post it on YouTube and make a fucking shit ton of head.
But yeah, so like, people, get over your frickin' selves. Like, if you don't want to be gay married, don't be gay married. If you fucking leave people alone. Like, seriously, let people fucking be happy.
And while you're at it, take everything in your house that looks really nice. Take all of your really nice clothes and burn them, because they were probably designed by gay people.
Right.
All right. So Ukraine today, probably past midnight here. We're fucking around so long. Yesterday, legalized gay marriage.
Woohoo! Yay, Ukraine! I'd clap.
About a week ago, there were some protesters kind of gathered out in support of a new bill legalizing gay marriage, or should I say, affirming that should be illegal to discriminate against homosexuals or people in general for their personal preference in regards to basic fundamental civil rights, legal rights, and financial rights that are included with a marriage license.
Like spousal benefits.
We're not talking about the religious aspects of marriage. We're talking about the secular, legal aspects of marriage. So, none of your fucking business as far as religion.
Yeah, whatever happened to the freaking separation of church and state?
Right, exactly.
Okay, church, state, okay? If you want to get married in a church, then yeah, a man and a woman, okay, fine, that's your prerogative, but you can go to a justice of the peace who is licensed by the state. Separation of church and state.
And when God wants something from you, you call upon the Lord and He gives you strength. And then you have faith that His will be done. You don't go around persecuting and being hateful towards people. That's an indication that God isn't in agreement with your general philosophy. So,
y'all are just sad little people.
Anybody who just hates other people, for whatever reason, if they're not out to get somebody, if they're not trying to hurt you, okay, and you just hate them because of something about them, what you really hate is God. What you really hate is yourself. What you really hate is creation and the way things are. Okay? Things are, guess what? As God wills them. Free will is a matter of perspective. Free will is a luxury. And it is a delicate balance to maintain free will.
Cause and effect, people. Cause and effect.
Yeah, you keep giving me cause. I'm going to have a profound effect.
You have to the count of my foot reaching your ass to shut the fuck
up. Yes, indeed.
Because you can't judge my judgment.
You can't.
Mofo.
You can't judge my judgment. That's our daughter's catchphrase that apparently is starting to catch on around town. You might be seeing it on TV soon. You can't judge my judgment. She's so fucking cute when she does it. Awesome.
Yeah, she like for a 10-year-old, like I love my child. She gets perfect resting bitch face when she
attitude.
Does it.
This little child got some attitude.
She does.
She has her stories how she survived the damn ghetto. That's for sure. I bet you she tells them at school. I bet you that's just hilarious too. Hearing my daughter tell her little ghetto stories at school, little country bumpkin sitting there like, what?
I know it's funny when I tell him at work. I tell him about the time I pulled that dude out of his truck window for hitting my Mustang. Ooh. What? You did what? You grabbed a man and pulled him out the window. Yeah, he's about 300 pounds. I grabbed him by his shirt and pulled him right the fuck out his window. You hit my brand new car, motherfucker.
Oh yeah, I don't speak Japanese. I'm not Santa Claus.
Arigato, Mr. Roboto.
Yeah, that too.
Arigato.
Like these days, I can hardly speak English or start something. Okay, anyways, moving on. Notes? Yes, notes.
Leadership.
The mini notebook of science.
Mini notebook.
Okay. I think delirium has set in. Yes, delirium? Yes.
Look at my unicorn. Isn't she pretty?
It's the horn. Clench. Oh, what?
No, I haven't seen your LSD, but have you seen the fucking dragon in the kitchen?
Facebook memes, gotta love them. Anyway.
Sorry. I get too much of a kick out of those. That's almost my sole purpose for going on Facebook these days, is to find funny memes and laugh at them. Because they relate to my life.
So, completely unrelated to anything happy and joyous. South Carolina shooting.
Yeah.
Earlier this week. I'm going to tell the basics of what happened.
So this 21-year-old kid goes into one of the oldest churches in the United States. This church was around in the Civil War during slavery, before the Civil War. This is how old this church was. It was also a church that Martin Luther King stopped at and gave a speech during the Civil Rights Movement. This church has been around forever and has been under attack numerous times. However, earlier in the week, a 21-year-old white boy decides he's going to go in for a Bible study that was happening about 9 o'clock at night. Sat there for an hour, and then stood up and shot up the place. He left a survivor, said that he wanted somebody left to tell them why he did it, because blacks are taking over the country. And his intention was to shoot himself, and he put the gun to his head and pulled the trigger, and guess what? He was out of bullets. So he ran. So after, a day manhunt, they found him.
Start beating himself in the head with it.
Right. So after about a day, they found him in North Carolina and brought him back in. He is now in custody. Unfortunately, one of the people killed was the pastor of the church, who also happened to be a U.S. state senator. And I'll tell you what, for as heinous of an act as this was, the community is handling this very well. There have been no riots. Everything has been just peaceful vigils in remembrance of the victims, and it's, for what it was, the people of South Carolina are handling it really well. However, this has also sparked a controversial debate on the Confederate flag, because many states in the South and many people in the South have different beliefs as to what the Confederate flag means to them. A lot of people want to argue that it just means Southern pride. It has nothing to do with racism, and you do. I have seen on Facebook there are black people who are in support of the Confederate flag being kept because well, I mean, it's a reminder of, how far we've come, I guess. I don't know.
It's a sad result of brainwashing, is what it is. The fact that anybody has bought into the Southern heritage argument ignorantly and unknowing of what it really represents. I can't be mad at those people, but the fact of the matter is, it's sad. It's like black people joining the Ku Klux Klan. Like, one could picture it actually happening because there are black people who fucking took the rebel flag.
And of course, the great state of Louisiana is going to fight everything as usual, and they want to keep any laws.
It's like a Jew with a Nazi armband. You see any Jews with Nazi armbands running around? For fuck's sake. That's am I wrong? I mean, it's the same exact thing what it would be.
Right.
Oh, slavery and genocide, oh, they're that different? Come on. What people aren't addressing here, and with the whole gun control debate, gun control is about responsible regulations as far as stricter gun control, background checks, okay, for people wanting to purchase new weapons, and also a universal registration system in general
and training
that requires things like private sales and gifts to also be recorded so that somebody who's mentally unstable or a known criminal can't just have a friend buy them a fucking gun. You know what I'm saying? That's currently the case. Anybody could just give you a gun. They pass their background check. They're fine.
The kid who shot
and you can just be JQ crazy fuck, and somebody gave you a gun, so you get to do whatever the hell you want.
That kid in South Carolina, the gun he used, his dad gave him for his birthday just a couple months before.
And all this NRA rhetoric about gun control being about taking away freedom and stuff like that. And the idea that the rebel flag somehow represents anything good, okay? Even the fact that it's just waving there, all right? What people don't consider is how it affects the minds of the youth, how it affects developing minds in school who are just learning from their teachers, from their parents, about how to understand news events and how to understand history, okay? They see the grown-ups acting like children. They see the justification of heinous things, the justification of hatred, of bigotry, through rhetoric. And they see right through it, or they completely buy into it. And it's really sad that this kid was one of the ones who completely bought into it and thought, well, that rebel flag still waves there, so there's still a chance for the white man to be the dominant. The rebellion is still alive in America. And frankly, there is an entire plethora of Russian-funded, English-speaking, fake American accented, and sometimes real American accented media that I'm sure he had his pick of that will make you think the U.S. government is full of a bunch of liberal, communist, hippie traitors who just want to kill your babies and send your grandma to a death panel and make you have health insurance, and somehow that's bad. But
oh yeah, I'm suffering from it.
Yeah, I know. Like, being able to finally have health insurance, it sucks. Let me tell you. Fuck. All right. So, yeah, that's all. The message is sent by the NRA and the Confederate flag. How they affect developing minds. it's just sad. And it's an important thing people need to consider when thinking that hatred needs to be passed down. So what else do we have? The Trans-Pacific Trade Partnership is now in effect. There are a lot of people who are saying that this is a big secret trade deal. It's kind of gonna send jobs overseas or destroy American jobs or anything. Basically, because Obama has done a thing, it's another reason why Obama is evil. Okay? It's that fucking ridiculous. That's how this shit works. Okay? Obama does a thing, therefore that thing Obama does is evil. Alright. The first issue that people have been raising is Obama's gonna destroy American jobs. Newsflash, motherfuckers. Obama saved American jobs. Lots of them. And what you don't realize is that with the public-private investment program and several executive accountability measures that Obama personally wrote, Obama saved you from having to sit in the fucking bread line. Saved the American economy from absolute and utter collapse. Saved the Western world from absolute collapse.
Second Great Depression.
It would have been worse than the Great Depression. I mean, there are some people who can do these numbers, all right? And they weren't looking good. And, well, some interesting things that we kind of were discussing when we were planning out what to talk about during the video. We have an army of infiltrators that have been here basically since right around the time Obama was being elected. Okay? If this economic collapse was orchestrated, was planned, was at least foreseen in some way by Vladimir Putin, he has all of these people in country. And they're not anticipating the pea pit, not anticipating that the Holy Ghost is in behind Barack Obama, not anticipating that faith actually works despite people's persecution. They had counted on the economy collapsing. They had counted on utter chaos breaking out in America. So, if what they're doing now is Plan B, what do you think Plan A was after that big collapse happened? You see that secret plan of the Illuminati, the secret plan of the Illuminati video that I posted, right? It kind of details out a few different phases. Well, that was supposed to be one of the final phases. That was supposed to be when shit all went down. And this guy you're turning on every time he tries to do anything, from healthcare to anything. Everybody's just like, Obama, yeah, devil, Antichrist, fucking black. I don't like it. Bitch, please. Here's some things, some Sidka on the Trans-Pacific Trade Partnership. First of all, it reforms NAFTA and not only protects American jobs to a certain extent, indirectly, but does so in a way that any decent person should applaud. it does so by requiring higher labor standards in the countries that we do business with. Okay? So there's no more, or the purpose of this bill is to reduce the whole sweatshop cheap fucking product thing, okay? While at the same time adding an economic incentive to make it, more doable for the businesses in those countries. Okay. But what people don't realize is that Russia and China have signed some deals recently. Russia and Belarus and Kazakhstan have signed some deals recently. And Russia and OPEC have signed some deals recently. And China and OPEC have signed some deals. There's been a lot of deals going on. And does like the basic notion of competitiveness and strategic partnership just not even come into the conversation for a reason? Could it be that, the media empire is controlling the conversation? Everybody just kind of repeating what they told. And Obama bad, Obama do thing, that thing be bad. Yeah. Okay. What do you So Obama's also got another deal in the works, which is going to be similar in its strategic approach for some group of sub-Saharan African countries. Uh, but yeah, basically the way this thing is laid out, it reforms the NAFTA to do the same thing as far as raising labor standards. Uh, and I don't want to say it like surrounds China, but there's been this game that Barack Obama and the new president of China, premier of China, whatever it's called, have been kind of playing. And it's called Pretend Like You're Enemies so Putin doesn't know your friends. Okay? And China is pissed off about the dishonor that has been done to it by Russia. Okay? And this dates back before even Korea, but man, salt in the wound with Korea because Russia was actually behind Korea and blamed it all on China. And a couple years later, Russia tried to invade China. You didn't fucking know about that, did you? Yeah, they just started massive artillery bombardments and fucking moved tanks and yeah, China let loose with their own artillery. It was pretty fucking terrible. And they've had a couple border skirmishes before then, and a couple stints, and nobody around here seems to know about that. China and Russia don't really get along that well. In fact, China and Japan, another thing people don't know about, China and Japan and Korea, that all used to be one imperial dynasty. Okay? It all used to be basically under the rule of what is now known as merely the Japanese royal family. But it used to be called, I believe, the Qin dynasty. That's where the whole China word comes from. Yeah, the Qin dynasty. It's Japanese. Qin. Japan. Oh, well, that doesn't make sense. Well, what had happened was this thing called the Communist Revolution, in which a bunch of slave army types just fucking massively and ruthlessly invaded half of China. And then World War II happened, and it was kind of further consolidated. Well, see, you told that Japan invaded China. Japan was kind of already there. Tianjin was a Japanese city in China. Like they had big territory there already. And it was about being old feudal Chinese land, not about being China versus Japan. feudal China versus communist China. Nobody seems to fucking know that. Well, I need to make another video on that. Holy crap, it's been an hour. Is this a new record? 55 minutes?
So.
Yeah.
It's for me anyway.
If anyone has actually watched this whole damn video, thank you very much. Hope you enjoyed the news. Thanks for joining us.
Like, subscribe.
The little button thing stuff is
Twin Pops.
Starting to seem like there's hope on the horizon.
Maybe. I think so.
Words of encouragement for people.
Love each other. Stop being hateful and spiteful and jealous. Just stop it.
I know, it's like the parents understand the way we feel. Parents, like, we're just stop it. Go take a time out. Go to your room. Fuck. Peace.
Night.